Why do people want to leave LA Hollywood as soon as they get there? Is it haunted, dangerous, or just full of creeps? Well, truth be told, it's all in one. It's full of bad vibes and dark energy. Sane people always end up moving back, and people who choose to stay always end up losing their sanity. And this video contains many horror stories and eerie experiences of struggling actors, models, and influencers in Hollyweird. Brace yourselves because the tones are going to be a lot darker after this, so what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. Let's get one thing straight, only the brave hearts live in LA, people who are not that impressionable and have a strong hold on their nerves. Why? Well, because Hollywood's a place which will test your soul. Behind the usual flashy and appealing glitz and glamour is a dark valley where monsters and predators reside. Don't let their high-profile status and expensive lifestyle fool you. Trust me when I say this is a mask.
One of the most famous song managers in LA for literally the top artists said that I should shut the f up in all my TikToks because nobody wants to see a woman talk, and that I would do a lot better if I just got naked on my TikToks and just shut the f up. And besides the fact that my most popular videos are of me talking. Another famous guy said that the line between girl and girl is just too tough to distinguish these days, and then proceeded to say that if you'd had sex with a girl once, then it's her fault if she says no again because it's too confusing for the man for her to retract her consent the second time. And if you had sex once, then you automatically deserve to have sex with her again.
Can you believe that? There are so many stories, each one weirder than the previous one, and shout out to this lady for speaking the truth and spreading awareness to the masses. And never stop speaking your mind. More importantly, more power to ya. It's definitely not easy to survive in such a place. Women on TikTok narrated many such instances during the Me Too movement in which they met executives and producers for work and ended up getting harassed.
I was working as a dancer at a club. At this club, we would get a lot of clients that were high profile, especially in the music industry. On one particular evening, we had this very high profile client come in and request a VIP room. I knew that this celebrity had a preference for Latina women, so when he requested a VIP room and actually requested me, I was quite surprised. And I went to do this VIP with a friend of mine that I worked with, did our job, did our thing, and at the end, he gave us a business card with his assistant's name and phone number and told us to call that number if we wanted to party after work that night. I was so not down for this, but the friend that I had done the VIP with told me that she's gone to one of his parties before and that he lives in the Hollywood Hills, has a really cool house. I was really apprehensive on going, but the night was really slow at the club that evening, so we actually ended up leaving early. I was not much of a party person or a drinker, so I was completely out of my element. I was literally there just for the bag. The party at this guy's house was not big or anything. I would say that there were probably less than 30 people in attendance, smoking and doing things that you can imagine are happening at celebrity parties. But one thing I couldn't help but notice is that amongst the people were some very, very young looking girls. At one point I look at my friend and I tell her, hey, don't some of these people look like way too young? That is when my friend told me that the assistant at the club wasn't the A-list celebrity's assistant. This guy is a recruiter. Basically what this person does is goes to parties, goes to clubs, and finds girls in a certain age range. That these young girls were being recruited to go to these parties, not to just hang out, but to engage in other unlawful things.
These A-list parties are mentioned in many expose videos of people who got invited to them and experienced immortality at its peak. The fact that these predators never get caught and are still out there doing these heinous activities is beyond me. You know, places hold a certain energy. One TikTok explained the negative chakra of Hollywood in detail.
I have had so many friends tell me that they have had conversations with very famous people that LA just has a dark, negative energy around it. I'm not talking about oh, it's haunted, people die every place, you know? I'm talking about astrogeography, energetic vortexes. I actually do have a theory that LA or Hollywood is kind of the opening to hell. You know, this is the end, but actually in real life. Because yes, LA is a competitive place, but New York doesn't feel like that. I've always told my friends, New York feels like a place that you go to discover your sense of self, where LA feels like a place that you go to lose a sense of yourself. Okay, but back to the astrogeography thing. So you know how different places just feel different. You go to Miami and you're a little turned on. That's just how it is. Everyone I've ever talked to has said the same thing. Tulum is a place you go to manifest. It's very powerful. LA has that dark energy around it. So if you're there and you don't really have a good support system, you don't have a really good sense of yourself, you're not secure in yourself, it is a place that you go and you feel very lost and you get chewed up and spit out real quick. So the funny thing about all this is I actually would move to Malibu or Santa Barbara. Coastal LA, yes, Inland LA, don't go there. You must never go there. Promise me you won't go there. I know it seems so beautiful and glamorous and amazing because you constantly see movies and actors and influencers posting about it. But these are the same people like behind the scenes saying that it's a dark place. But yeah, don't go there if you don't have a solid sense of self or like a good support system.
It's not just her. Many people hold the exact same thoughts.
I've seen bodies in the street. I've seen people laying in the middle of the road, just homeless, covered, naked, covered in dookie, just walking around like that's an everyday occurrence. To live in Los Angeles, California, or pretty much anywhere in Southern California, you need to have some sense of delusion, and you have to disassociate from everything that's going on around you. In no way should it be normal for you to go from your home to your workplace, and in that 20 minutes of time, you already seen a bum fight, you've seen a garbage dumpster on fire, there's a body, there's a police shootout, there's a random baby selling on the corner. Yes, it's a crazy place, but you need to know what you want out of that place before you go. I had a great experience. It was crazy, but I got what I needed out of it. I learned a lot. It's plenty of stories I probably don't want to share on this app, but yeah, Hollywood, Los Angeles, California, be prepared if you're going to go.
He ain't lying. It is crazy. You can't trust anyone, and when I say anyone, I mean anyone. Just because someone looks cool and decent online, has a few thousand followers, doesn't mean that they're safe to be around. And it's not only about the energy or crimes, but also about the toxic work environment.
When I was doing makeup on this movie, and the main actress was not this actor that I was excited to work with. She was another girl who was lovely, woman who was lovely. And when we started doing makeup tests before shooting, that's when the director started coming to me and acting insane. And trigger warning for this point forward, this gets really nasty about women's bodies. This gets rough, okay? The director would come up to me, and sometimes in front of the actress and sometimes in front of the actress's mother, and say, hey, is there anything you can do about her gums? Like her gums show. Hey, can we give her a little Botox up here? If you see her ordering McDonald's, throw it in the trash because we need her to lose weight. One, I'm not a licensed medical professional. I can't do Botox, and I wouldn't even if I could. And two, she just said it to hurt that girl's feelings. And three, it doesn't matter what that girl's body looked like, you cast her. And she was healthy. Doesn't matter what her body looked like, she was healthy. And it was shit like this every day for a month. And again, I'm really scared to be posting this, but I think it's important so we stop getting treated like this.
These girls literally start developing eating disorders and body dysmorphia, and the same bodies and magazines we love so much are the result of constant calorie monitoring and body shaming. LA Hollywood is not a safe place in any regard, period.
It is literally true that Hollywood is the devil's playground, and I lived in Hollywood, so I can say that. I lived on the Strip, like Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know why nobody told me not to move there, but I did, which was a very big mistake. I cannot tell you how many times I saw and heard of people around me, and it's crazy because I'm not somebody who's ever experienced that in my life, but in the building that I lived, someone jumped off the balcony of my floor and committed someone also on my floor, and his body was left to rot for months, probably like 8 months since before I had moved in, which is insane. And I have proof of this, and I'll actually do a story time another day because like I was like a little like investigator, and I found this out myself. Like I don't think anyone else knew, but I 100% knew. Someone from my building was throwing glass objects from like the 3rd floor into the courtyard. I walked out my house at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I saw someone shooting up into their veins. Yeah, I would see people screaming and shouting and crying, laying on the floor like begging for help, and nobody would help them. The energy and vibes were so bad in that apartment that I literally broke my lease, and I paid $3,000 just to get out of there. The more you know.
So this was the video, my friends. Always have your guard up if you're visiting this place or thinking of moving there. Be prepared or be sorry. The choice is yours. And don't forget to share any of your own Hollywood experiences in the comment section below. The world deserves to know the truth. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more intriguing content. I'll see you in the next one.